Hey everyone, so it's been a while again, sorry, and there's a generous amount to update on, I suppose. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Today I am 38 weeks and 1 day, so baby can come anytime, but I'm hoping it doesn't, which I will explain. So last week on Tuesday, the day I turned 37 weeks, I had my first in-home midwife appointment. So she came and, okay, well, I'll start with 3 weeks ago. I'm not positive if I mentioned this or not, but 3 or 4 weeks ago, whatever that was, my midwife had felt the baby, tried to see the position, and she thought that it was head down and the butt was up here, but that the baby was facing outwards instead of towards my back. The best position for a baby to be for delivery is having the back towards the outside, so you would feel the back on your stomach. So baby would be facing your back. However, so I did some exercise type things to try to get baby to, flip, not really flip, but turn, so that its back was towards my stomach, instead of its legs and arms and all that. But baby never moved. I always felt the same hard bump up here, which we figured was the butt, and it just never moved. So last Tuesday, she was feeling it again, but this time she was more convinced that baby was breech, and that it was actually its head up here and not its butt. So I had to have a late ultrasound, which I had on Friday, which confirmed that baby is definitely breech, but not a full breech. It's more like a transverse / breech, which transverse is where baby is laying this way, sideways on your belly, and breech is up and down, only its head is up. But baby is kind of like this, so its head's here, butt's here, and legs dangling down here. So yeah, it's not good news. I go in on this Friday to a chiropractor to try the Webster's technique. Definitely hoping that it works. What the Webster's technique technically does is it loosens the round ligaments, and it also corrects your back and your hips and all that, so that the baby actually has more room, so it can have the ideal situation to flip to the right situation, so that I can still have my home birth. It's very disappointing that this is happening so late in my pregnancy. There are only 3 to 5% of babies in full term that are breech, and I just happen to get to be the lucky one of those 3 to 5% of pregnant women that have breech babies. So time is definitely running out as baby puts on more fat. It has less room to move. And obviously less amniotic fluid as the time goes by as well. So there's less of a chance of my baby moving. It is possible for a breech baby to move just before labor. It's possible. My only problem is, which I'll find out tomorrow how long I have, if baby does not flip, my midwife cannot deliver the baby. So I won't be able to have a home birth. So I am having to come up with 3 different birth plans. One for home, one for the hospital, and one if I have a C-section. Which most likely a C-section is what I'm going to have. Which I'm not happy about at all. It's my worst nightmare. I wanted to have a home birth, a water birth, perfect setting. My daughter would never have to leave. I did have to release some control and say that my husband's mom could come and they'd stay upstairs and she'd stay with my daughter. If I have a hospital birth, she's gonna have to be watched for a couple days without me, and that's really difficult for me. I've never been away from my daughter for a whole day. Most is 4 hours, maybe. And so I'll be worrying, is she being taken care of the way that I want her to be taken care of? Is she getting food that I want her to have, or is she getting things that she shouldn't be having? That sort of thing. And then the worst case scenario, having a C-section, I'll be in the hospital longer, and then when I get home I can't do much of anything except take care of the baby. Basically, I will have to lose complete control over everything, which just sucks. Not to mention that I do not want an epidural. Just watching the needle go in people's back makes me want to faint. There's no way that I'm going to be able to relax like you're supposed to make sure that it's safe. Yeah. But I really don't want to think about it. Yeah, I don't know. I talk more tomorrow with my midwife. So I'm not having my next appointment. She ended up delivering 2 babies yesterday. So we didn't have an appointment yesterday. So yeah, we'll talk about birth plans. I'm planning on trying to, by tonight, have birth plan written out for each case scenario. But, yeah, like I said, I don't know how long baby has to flip before I can't have a home birth and have to go with an OB at the hospital. But I definitely have to find somebody now because I want them to follow my rules, my birth plan, and I don't want to have to worry about fighting with the nurses and the doctors while I'm trying to give birth. That's my whole reason of not wanting to be in the hospital in the first place, besides not being able to have my daughter there. is because I don't want to have to be the one fighting with the doctors or nurses because they want to do something to my baby or me, but I don't want them to. I'm pretty sure that I can't go to any of the hospitals here because they're very, all of them are not, how to put it, they're not open-minded about natural parenting type things, such as natural birth and all that. So I'll have to travel 45 minutes away, which is not unheard of. Lots of people do it. I'm just still afraid that they won't let me do a vaginal birth, which is my ultimate plan. After the home birth, obviously the home birth would be a vaginal birth, but yeah, not many doctors anymore allow breech vaginal births. So that's going to be my first attempt. The other problem is that even if they do attempt vaginal births with breech babies, generally they like the baby to be in the frank position, which my baby is not. Not at all. So I don't know that I will be able to find an OB that's willing to do a vaginal delivery. Especially since my baby isn't fully breech. Which makes things more difficult because, yeah, it's in no way in the right position for birth. So I don't think I'm going to get anybody willing to take on a vaginal birth with this baby, unless it turns. So then the next thing is the C-section. I don't know if I'll be able to find somebody that will be willing to do a natural C-section. Or some people call it family-centered or mom and baby-centered or whatever type of C-section. Because for one, I do not want the cord clamped right away. I want the cord to stay intact until it's done pulsating. And I want the baby to come immediately to me. I don't want the baby ever to leave me. And all of this stuff is possible, and it's perfectly safe, but most doctors don't do it. So it's going to be very difficult to try to find somebody that does that, especially since I'm running out of time. Baby could come any day now, and I still don't know where I will be delivering. And I definitely do not want to have an emergency C-section, because then they definitely will not go by my birth plan. But if I go into labor and baby is still breech, I can't have a home birth, and if I don't have an OB, then I just have to go to some random hospital and hope that I get somebody that's willing to listen to me before baby starts coming out. And yeah, doctors usually aren't very good listeners when they're being rushed. So yeah, I have to somehow find an OB willing to work with me. But hopefully I don't have to worry about that though, and even if I do find an OB, that baby will turn and I can have a home birth, and this will all just be in the past, and yes, be the ideal situation. Not sure it's going to happen or not though. We'll find out. Yeah, a lot of my questions hopefully will be answered tomorrow. with the midwife. Yeah. So anyways, that's what's been going on recently. More just struggles. I'm finding it harder to want to see my baby right now because I don't want it to come out. Because, yeah, I want to have my home birth. I just want things to go smoothly. I fought so hard to have this home birth for so long. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to have it. And then I think that everything's going smoothly. I finally get to have the home birth, and then this happens. Stubborn baby. Yeah, and I find that I'm distancing myself from the baby because I don't want to think about the birth. I don't want to think about anything in regards to it because of all this crap going on, and my fears. And now that I'm like 38 weeks, I get the question a lot if I'm getting excited and anxious, and no, I'm not. Not anymore. Because life's thrown a curveball and it's just being hard to take. So, I want to be excited. I do. But I'm finding it really hard right now. Even though everyone outside of this is just like, you know, what happens, happens. As long as you have a happy, healthy baby, right? Well, I wish it was that easy. But there's so many other things going on in my head that I just can't think like that right now. So yeah, hopefully things work themselves out. Hoping the chiropractor stuff works and works fast. Sometimes it takes a few times, but I'm hoping once, maybe twice, and the baby flips, I hope. If anything, I hope baby does not try to come out until it is flipped. Yeah. So anyways, I'll stop blabbering. I think those are the main things. There's probably more, but this is getting way too long. So I'll do a belly shot and be done. Okay. So 38 weeks, 1 day belly. This side is where the placenta is. And then baby's head is right here. So yeah, this is where baby's head is, and his butt's like right here. So you can see he or she is just laying across right there, and his legs are down there. So not an ideal situation at all. And it's very uncomfortable sleeping because his head gets right stuck under my ribs. That's just another pregnancy complaint, though. Sometimes it's very sharp pain, though. I think it's bruising my ribs cage from its head being there so long. So anyways, I will hopefully update you later with hopefully good news. Fingers crossed. I hope. Okay. Yes, bye.